Using a baby sleeping bag or sleep sack can be a fantastic way to keep your baby nice and warm during the night so that they don't kick off their blankets. But at what age should we stop using a baby sleeping bag? Today I'm answering your sleep question: when is a good age to stop using a baby sleeping bag? Hi, I'm Amanda, founder and co-creator of Little One Sleep Programs. I'm a pediatric sleep specialist and mother to two darling little girls. At Little Ones, we sell comprehensive online sleep and nutrition programs from 0 through to toddler and preschool age. We do this via our custom-built app where we have our fantastic programs, and we also house our amazing support village for our customers, where our trained sleep consultants and our dietitian are there to answer any of your questions day and night. If you need any further help, make sure you visit us at www.littlewans.co. Make sure you tell us in the comments below what age you stopped using a baby sleeping bag for your baby or toddler. As I said, using a baby sleeping bag can be a fantastic way to keep your baby nice and warm and snuggly, especially those children that really kick and move around a lot during the night. I know one of my children, sometimes I would find her upside down in the cot, really moving around. So that sleeping bag always kept her warm no matter where she was sleeping. Using a baby sleeping bag can also be a fantastic tool when moving your toddler from a cot or a crib into a big bed, because they are used to that comfy, warm environment. You can keep your toddler in the sleeping bag and move them both into the bed, because this is a really good positive sleep association, and that is no different when the bed itself is. I guess when using a baby sleeping bag and looking at trying to remove it, I would be looking for things around that same age of when you're looking at moving your toddler into a bed. They're most likely climbing out of their cot, they're getting too big for the crib now, so they're needing to move into a big girl bed or a big boy bed, and this is probably around the same age where they can move into sheets and a blanket. But as I said before, as you can use that sleeping bag in the big bed initially whilst your child is getting used to the bed, and then later on bring in those blankets. So you're probably going to move into the bed first and then get rid of the sleeping bag. Now, our recommendation always is to keep your baby or toddler in a cot or a crib for as long as possible. It does sort of have that nice, snuggly, warm environment and closed-in environment that toddlers sort of understand that they don't sort of get out of, whereas a bed, there's no sort of barrier, and they will get out of a bed much more easily, especially if they aren't between sort of 2.5 to 3.5 years old, to really understand the concept of staying in bed. So first I would move your child to a bed, and then once they're used to the bed and blankets, you could start with maybe a soft sheet over the top of your sleeping bag so that they can get used to keeping those blankets up and around them to stay warm. And of course, always make sure that your room is really warm. So once you do remove the sleeping bag, that if for some reason they have kicked off their blankets, they're not going to wake because they're freezing cold, and they are still warm because the room is nice and warm. So I hope that answers your question as to when is a good time to remove the baby sleeping bag. And as always, if you liked this video, give us a really big thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, click the subscribe button and make sure you check that notification bell so you get notified of videos just like this one.